a huge move.
Yeah.
To me, this is a major upgrade. You have now upgraded defensively. Basically a guy that's almost the same size, much more consistent, catch and shoot shooter. He can also put it down a little bit, create offense. But I think more than anything else, it's the consistency factor.
Picture this. The 68-win, springy-legged, everybody's-a-wing Oklahoma City Thunder staring down a battered, gasping Denver
attacking and slamming! Oh, Case and Wallace!
On paper, it looked like a mismatch. In reality, it took 7 games and a historically exhausted Nikola Jokić.
Rebound Jokić! Westbrook's got it! A Joker run! Give it to Joker! And he scores!
To finally pry Denver off the bracket. Now imagine that same Nuggets core with health, depth, and answers to every weakness that showed up under postseason floodlights. That's not a hot take. That's a flashing hazard sign for the rest of the league. Because Denver's season didn't end because they got outclassed. It ended because their bench fell through the floor, their third scorer played through a shoulder that hated him, their defensive Swiss Army knife hobbled through a hamstring strain, and their MVP had to moonlight as a marathoner. Jokić logged shifts that would make an airline pilot blush.
6 on the clock. Jokić, spin move, one-legged three. Got it! Oh my God!
44 minutes in Game 3, 43 in Game 4, 44 in Game 5, then basically don't you dare sit in the second half. He still spit out absurd lines, 42 and 22 in Game 1, 44 and 15 in Game 5. And still drew doubles, triples, and a level of contact that would have a piñata filing a grievance. Denver didn't get solved. They ran out of bodies. So the front office went shopping, not for splashy headlines, not for big, risky swings, but for solvable problems. The checklist was simple. Stabilize non-Jokić minutes. Add a backup 5 who can run a real offense. Restore a two-way wing who fits the ecosystem. And replace hope the threes go in with we can win in more than one way. Check, 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 and oh look, check. Start with the biggest hole, bench scoring. Last season, Denver's reserves averaged just 26.4 points per game. Elite benches, they live in the mid-30s to 40. That gap is oxygen. It forces starters into heavier lifts, shrinks tactical options, and turns every Jokić rest into a red alert. Enter Tim Hardaway Jr., a plug-and-play fit in the most Jokić way possible. Nobody's asking him to spam pick and rolls. His job is simple: punish daylight. Last season, he hit 37% from 3 and ranked in the top tier on unguarded spot-ups. Who generates more of those please make me wrong corner and wing looks than Denver's big Serbian conductor? If Hardaway lives in those soft spots, Jokić and Murray carve open and chips in 13 to 15 a night. You've already patched half the bench deficit. Next, the backup 5 crater. When Jokić sat last year, Denver's offense collapsed to a rating you'd expect from a rec league team on a hangover. That's not survivable in May. Jonas Valančiūnas is the antidote. He brings dependable second-unit offense, deep seals, offensive rebounding, dribble handoffs that keep the ball alive. He'll eat innings without the system face-planting, and he gives Denver flexibility. Some nights you can pound the glass with him, others you pivot to a stretch 5 for spacing. Translation: non-Jokić minutes can finally be neutral instead of a 3-minute disaster reel. But the quiet masterstroke is swapping the idea of Michael Porter Jr. for the reality of Cam Johnson. No torching. Porter has had enormous nights and fought through injuries most fans never see. But the postseason exposed an uncomfortable truth. When his catch-and-shoot rhythm disappeared, so did his impact. Johnson is built for Jokić ball. He screens and slips, he cuts and relocates, he fires quickly, and he can put it on the floor without combusting the possession. Defensively, he's sturdy and system-friendly. He's also a career 39% shooter from deep, thriving on quick decisions. That's oxygen in the read and react offense, and his contract number, much friendlier than Porter's. Optionality over austerity. And then there's the boomerang, Bruce Brown. If you need a refresher, rewatch the final 5 minutes of Game 4 in the 2023 Finals. 11 points, cutting, screening, guarding, closing. Some players bring box score value. Brown brings scoreboard value. He turns dead possessions into layups. He makes small ball lineups feel like heavyweight boxing. Slide him back into a system that already maximizes him, and you've restored the connective tissue championship teams lean on when shooting deserts them. So what does all this look like on a Tuesday in February? And more importantly, a Sunday in May? It means Jokić doesn't need to chase 40 minutes to keep games within single digits. It means Jamal Murray can play with pace instead of pain. It means Aaron Gordon can choose violence on defense and still have legs for offense because he's not guarding 4 positions for 40 minutes. It means Christian Braun and Peyton Watson get to play as turbo wings inside a system that supports their strengths instead of asking them to do algebra without a calculator. And it means Michael Moore can toggle lineup shapes, big and bruising with Valančiūnas, fast and switchy with Brown at the 4, sniper groups with Johnson and Hardaway fanning the floor without praying. All of that is the depth story, but the health story might be even louder. Murray finally gets an offseason that isn't rehab. Gordon's hamstring goes from please hold to fully charged. Jokić actually gets rest, real rest, after shouldering a usage load that would make a heavyweight blink. A fresh version of the best player alive is not a subplot, it's an earthquake. Now, let's talk tactics, because this is where Denver's upgrades echo in high-leverage moments. Last year, OKC attacked the non-Jokić minutes with one formula: speed, pressure, and live ball turnovers. With a functional second unit big, these possessions can now start with structure. A deep catch, a dribble handoff to punish top blocking, a flare screen that forces the low man to choose. Add Bruce Brown to Murray and Johnson, and you're screening mismatches into existence. Brown screens for Murray. The switch puts a small on Aaron Gordon. Short roll, 2 on the ball, corner 3. With Hardaway parked at 25 feet, the nail defender has to play honest. Suddenly, those same traps that sped Denver up become rotations Denver manipulates. Defensively, Denver's best look, switching 1 through 4 with Gordon and Braun causing chaos, was unsustainable when those two had to do it for 40 minutes. Brown's return adds stamina and stability. Johnson's positional discipline matters too. He doesn't die on every flare. He tags the roller on time. He contests shooters without flying past them. Those details swing playoff possessions when shot-making fluctuates. Will anyone miss MPJ's microwave stretches? Sure, but this version of Denver has more ways to win. Some nights it's Jokić theater. Some nights it's Murray's pull-up tour. Some nights it's Gordon and Braun turning a game into a layup line. Some nights it's the bench blitzing a tired opponent by 10 in the second quarter. And when the threes don't fall, offensive rebounding from Jonas, baseline cuts from Brown, and Jokić finding the weak side 45 keep the machine fed. The financial piece isn't sexy, but it's essential. Swapping MPJ's contract for Johnson's flexibility and stacking the bench with value deals stretches the window. Dynasties don't usually die for basketball reasons first. They die when the cap handcuffs you from making mid-tier moves. Denver bought itself steering room. And what about the neighborhood? Oklahoma City is elite, but their biggest advantage, fresh legs versus Denver's gas tank on E, shrinks if the Nuggets play 9.5 all year. Minnesota's Twin Tower lineup gives everyone headaches, but Denver's counter has always been to drag their bigs into space. Add more cutting and shooting, and that stress test tilts harder. Houston just leveled up with Schengen and Durant, but chemistry tax is real in year 1. Sacramento and Phoenix can score on anybody, but Denver's symphony is more balanced. Golden State's IQ still terrifies young teams, but Denver is not young anymore. And the Lakers? The Jokić equation has been unsolved since 2020. He pulls their shot blockers out of the paint, then picks the bones clean. Want a concrete vision? Try this. Game 5, second round, tie game. 4 minutes left. Denver empties the bag. Murray-Jokić two-man game with Johnson lifting out of the strong side corner, Brown ghost screening into a cut, Hardaway spacing deep on the weak side, Gordon lurking as the 45 cutter. Trap Murray, Jokić catches the nail. Touch pass to the corner, Johnson 3. Stay home on shooters, Jokić keeps, 1 dribble, floater. Switch it, Brown short rolls into a pocket jumper while the defense watches the wrong 2 guys. That's what more ways to win looks like when possessions are gold. And for the first time in a year, Denver can manage the calendar. Back-to-backs don't require superhero minutes. Practice days become development labs for Watson, Strother, Pickett. February isn't a referendum on stamina. It's an experiment ground for playoff combos. The team that just dragged the West top seed to 7 while taped together now gets 6 months to become whole. If you're looking for a wobble point, it lives in 2 places. Health, always the asterisk, and integrating new pieces without dulling the Jokić-Murray rhythm. But these aren't risks, they're speed bumps. Brown already speaks the language. Johnson thrives on quick reads.
Johnson bangs it.
Valančiūnas devours second units. Hardaway lives exactly where Jokić passes find you. The curve isn't a mountain, it's a ramp. So no, last spring wasn't proof Denver's window closed. It was proof of how thin the margins get when a great team has to do everything the hard way. This version doesn't need to. They can turn the volume down on regular season strain, turn it up on lineup creativity, and turn every fourth quarter into a choose-your-adventure for defenses that already failed the quiz once. Are they the team to beat? That depends on how much you trust a program that's already hung a banner, already solved the sport with a center as a point guard, and just added the boring, necessary things that decide rings. If last year was the league's lucky break, this year is the bill coming due. Fresh legs, a deeper bench, a smarter wing, a real backup five, and a superstar who finally gets to choose when to sprint. The Nuggets didn't reinvent themselves. They fixed the parts that squeaked, tightened the screws, and stocked the toolbox. That's the difference between almost and again. If you're scouting them, your checklist is short and depressing. Keep Jokić off the elbows, body Murray on every route, pray the roll guys miss, and win the glass. You can maybe do 3 of those for a night. You're not doing all 4 for 16 wins. Denver pushed a 68-win machine to the edge with no bench, bad luck, and bruises everywhere. Now they have a bench, a buffer, and better options. The rest of the West should be very, very concerned.